So there was in fact a couple of games I wanted to check out today, but for some reason I thought I would start with Iron Guard on PSVR2. Why? Because I played it on Quest what feels like years ago, and I remember thinking it was actually pretty good. So all I intended to do today was dip my VR toes in, see how it looked on PSVR2 since it's now in 4K and it has a 90Hz native refresh rate, and then simply report back. Well, that was before 3.5 hours had flown by me so fast I haven't got time to do anything else today. And the only reason I stopped playing Iron Guard today was because I got the low battery warning on my PSVR2 controllers, which means above all else this game is addictive as f***. But why is that, Mr. GT, I hear you ask? Well, get comfy and I'll tell you all why. And while you're getting comfy, remember to give that like button a little tickle for me. As real-time strategy games go, I can take them or leave them, and normally I would play them on something like my mobile phone because it's a genre I don't really go crazy for. And in regards to Iron Guard, I kind of questioned, what does VR add to this type of game? I mean, it's just clicking and pointing. So the question is it worth putting a headset on for? However, the main pull of this game for me is the fact that your right hand is in fact a spaceship that you can shoot, and it can be upgraded, and it has a profound effect on the outcome of every battle, kept me playing far more than I expected. And as the levels progressed, so did the enemy variety, and obviously my own upgrades, plus there's some extra stuff which I'll get to in a minute. But the ship is the main reason I believe this entire game makes sense for an RTS game in VR, and it's because as the game progresses you start getting attacked by other ships, and this means you're no longer available to give your undivided attention to what is going on the battlefield, or even collect resources, which is also something else you'll be doing later on once you unlock the ability to mine crystals on the map. You can also unlock airstrikes, bombs and rockets that work on a timer and inflict massive damage, but if your ship does get shot by the other enemy ships, these timers will reset. And that is why I now present you with one of the most addictive games I've played in VR for a very long time. And I'm trying to rack my brains to remember the last time I played a game on PSVR2 when my controllers actually run out. And also I do believe if they hadn't run out I'd probably still be playing now, and that means this review would have happened tomorrow. So with that out of the way, let's talk about the content of the game. There is 30 chapters to complete, and I would guess you're looking at least a minimum of 8 hours to 10 hours gameplay, because I'm only on chapter 12 in what has taken, as I said, 3.5 hours. And the mission I'm on right now has got me killed 3 times in a row, so it's very clear to me the challenge is ramping up. The best thing about Iron Guard is how simple it seems at first. It kind of lures you in, and on some levels I was racking up a ridiculous amounts of cash with nothing to spend it on, thinking this game is just far too easy. And then blam! The game hits you with a new enemy type which gives health to other enemies in the vicinity. At the same time, the enemy ships I spoke about earlier doubled in number, making the game pretty difficult. And that's when I realised I had to invest in rocket launchers. Now rocket launchers also do ground and air attacks, but I had instead used all my resources to upgrade my favourite thing, which is the guns. Now when it comes to the enemy, they can also spawn in multiple locations and sometimes all at once, and when you have limited resources you have to figure out a way to funnel them into a concentrated area for an attack, which you can if you invest in road blockers, which again is all about planning and resource management. And I think that is why it's so addictive. That gameplay combined with a third-person VR shooter in its entirety actually works so well. And regarding the graphics, they're nice, but I wouldn't say they're incredible. They're like sharper Quest graphics, but it's no slouch, and overall it looks great on whatever system you want to play it on. Now the real plus for PSVR2 users is the fact it has adaptive triggers, and overall I would give this game a buy recommendation. I actually can't believe I almost passed this up to play something else, and I'm really glad I didn't. And if you wouldn't call yourself a fan of RTS games, I would still actually recommend you give this a shot. And there is a story to this game, but I honestly skipped it at every opportunity, just because I wanted to keep playing. If you do own a Meta Quest and you want to pick this up, I will leave an affiliate code pinned to the comments to save you 10%. And as always, thank you ever so much for watching. If you find this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.